In today's video, we're going to talk about how to do multiplication in different number bases. Now, to get us started, I want to recall or remind you of how we multiply in regular base 10. So you would line up your numbers like this. And then we would first do the 3 times everything. So 3, 18, carry the 1, 10, carry the 1, 7, and 12. And then we would do the same thing for the 2. So 2, we'd have 12, carry the 1, 7, 4, and 8. And then after you have those numbers, you'd go ahead and add. So we're going to do that same process for multiplying in other number bases. The difference here is that the way that we carry and the values that go in each place value are going to differ. So let me show you what I mean. When we are multiplying, for example, in base 5, you are only allowed to have digits that are from 0 to 4. Oh my gosh, the stylus is like disappearing ink. If I were in base 4 over here, I'm only allowed to have values from 0 to 3. So you're only allowed to have digits from 0 to whatever the base is minus 1. So in that regards, we have two options. Option 1 is we can convert both numbers to base 10, multiply them, and then convert back. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot of extra work. So an alternative is to perform the multiplication in the provided base, and then just be really careful about your columns and the allowed values for each digit. As I was going through and preparing this, I actually found it helpful when I started to have numbers that were bigger than the allowed base to just write off to the side what they were going to be. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I'm in base 5, then that means that my 1's place is the 1, and what would normally be a 10's place is actually my 5's place. So for example, if I had the number 8, 8 would become a 1, 5, and then I would have 3 left over in the 1's. So that's how we get 5 plus 3, or 8. If I were to have the number 12, there are 2 5's in the number 12, which gives me 10, and then 2 left over. So each time you do a multiplication, you want to ask yourself, is the resulting answer 4 or less? And if it isn't, then how would I represent that answer in base 5? So I'm going to go ahead and list my numbers, 23 and 14. And so my first multiplication, 3 times 4 is 12. And we just said a minute ago that 12 is 2 and carry the 2. And then my next multiplication is 8 plus 2, which gives me 10. So 10 would be 2 5's and no 1's. So I'd write that as 20. And then now I go ahead and I do the next number. And we will do 1 times 3, which is just 3. 1 times 2, which is just 2. And then this missing digit, you can just fill it with a 0. And then we go ahead and we add. And then 2, 3, 4. And so that would be my answer in base 5. All right, let's go ahead and do another one together. So actually, you know what, for this one, why don't you do it on your own? And then, so we'll pause the video and then go ahead and give this one a try. All right, so 23 times 12, but now we're in base 4, which means that we can only have numbers from 0 to 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 would give us 12. So 2 and a 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 would give us a 1, 1. And then 3 times 1 is just 3. 2 times 1 is just 2. And then we would add and have 3. Now, oh, hold on. Sorry. We would carry the 2 down. When we get a 4, remember, would be, because this is the 4's place and the 1's place, so 4 would be 1, 0. And then we have another 4, so that would be 1, 0. So our final answer would be 1, 0, 0, 2, and that's our answer in base 4. All right, now as the bases get bigger, as there are more digits involved, you just have to be more and more careful. If you find as you're going through and doing these that you're just making lots of mistakes, then you might be better off converting to base 10, multiplying, and then converting back. It's up to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work through this one for base 6, but before I show the work, why don't you pause the video and give it a try on your own. All right, so our correct answer here will be 13306 in, or I'm sorry, 13303 in base 6. So the way that we get that answer, we have the 345 and the 23, and I also find that as my numbers get have more places, that I find it helpful to switch colors and do work off to the side and so on. So 5 times 3 gives me 15, and if I'm in base 6, then that would be 2 and a 1. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. See, this is why you have to really think carefully. So I will have, okay, I wish I could erase and go backwards in the video, but I can't easily, so just bear with me. So this would give me 15, and 15 would give me a 12 and a 3. I swear, sometimes my brain is thinking 2 steps ahead, and then I write down the wrong numbers. And then here I'll have 12 plus 2, so 14. And so that would give me a 2 and a 2. And then 9 plus 2, what is happening? 9 plus 2 is going to give me 11, and 11 would be a 6, a 1, and a 5. So I have 1, 5 here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the 2. Now for, to kind of help me not get confused as to which number belongs to which, I'm just going to X those out so that I know they've already been used, and that was from my first row. And then now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the 2 times 5, which gives me 10. So that'll give me a 1 and a 4. So I'll put a 4 here, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. And, oh my goodness, I am just losing my marbles here. That should be a 4. I can't, oh, okay, please forgive me. A 1 and a 3, and carry the 1. And 6 plus 1 is 7, which will give me a 1 and a 1. All right, now final step is to go ahead and add these numbers down. All right, so we'll have 3, 6 is going to give me 1, 0. We have 9, which we already said was 1, 3, 3, and 1. Now, you'll notice in my work over here that I have these common values. Some people find it helpful to just make a chart before they go ahead and get started. So you might say, for example, that I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just go ahead and write what those numbers would be. And one of the advantages to this is that then you can just kind of work through it quickly and make your list of values for each multiple of 6. So some people have found that helpful to do that as they're doing their work. Again, you pick what works best for you. All right, the last example that we're going to talk about is this one right here, and in base 12, apparently I forgot the 12. In base 12, since you can only have single digit numbers, we use the values A and B to represent our 10 and our 11. Okay, so this one's going to really test your organization here. So we have 6, A3 times 24. And just like before, I'm going to write my numbers off to the side to help out a little bit. And as we do that, the first number is my 12's place and the second number is my 1's place. So 3 times 4 gives me 12, which would give me 1, 0. A times 4 would give me 40 plus 1 is 41. So when we're writing 41, we want to ask how many 12's go in 41. So I have 3, giving me 36 with 5 left over. So I'll have a 5, carry the 3, and then 24 plus 3 is 27. So again, how many 12's? I have 2, giving me 24 with a 3 left over. So I'll have 2, 3 here. All right, now when I go to start multiplying the 2, I'm going to cross these off so I don't think that I have to use them. I have my placeholder 0. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 is a lot. 2 times A is 20, and 20 will give me 112 and 8 leftovers. So I will have an 8, carry the 1. And then 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13, which will give me a 1, 1. And then now my last step is to just go ahead and add these values. So I'll have 0. Here I have an 11. Remember, 11 is B. 3 plus 8 is 11, which is B. And then I have a 3 and a 1. So my final answer is 1, 3, B, B, 0. And that would be my answer in base 12. All right. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any questions, we can talk about this more next week.